from the same place as trap music. This that first react music. They can't hold me back. I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch this. My flow, I can't rush this. Put them on silence when I'm talking. You should hush, bitch. I am from the heavy bass. My bro called a heavy case. Got a couple.
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Tonight, we will be smoking on the phrase, keeping your word. But before we get into that, make sure to like and share this video. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. I am Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always with the God, Ali, Dawu L at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God.
Peace, God. What you dealing with?
Another beautiful Sunday. We made it.
No, that's right.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Happy Mother's Day to y'all. Happy Mother's Day to y'all. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to y'all. Yo.
All y'all.
All y'all.
All y'all. All the mamas, man. Yes, indeed. Special shout out going out to my mama, grandmama, aunties, Mama L, and Mama Mac too. You know, so you know we got to make it keep it personal right there.
All the Hicksons, the Damons.
Man, talking about
it. Yeah, nah, man. Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, but there's a lot of us, bro. You know, and without them, we wouldn't be here. Like none of us.
None of us, right?
Whether you are productive or a useless eater, you have your right. You have your mother and your father to thank for your existence, right? But like, your mom's decided and she made a choice, and I thank you for that, Mom.
Me too. I'm a second that. Second that. I thank your mama for that, and I thank my mama for that.
I thank your mama for that.
Because definitely, Mom told me, she said it was you or some type of car.
Mom told me.
I'm like, man, okay. I'm glad you ain't get whipalicious.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make you proud, Mom, and you know, and I think I did, right? Like, you know, I kept my word. Ironically, it's the topic, right? And my mom's just she says she's proud of me, and I feel like I'm doing things to make my mother always be proud of me.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that's dope. So yeah, man.
That's always dope. Look, while we on, I'm gonna go ahead and share a quick story before we get into our phrase this evening. I probably shared this with you offline before, but I'm gonna share it with the world, with the internet. My mother told me that she thought that I was a man child, so I jumped off the porch real early, and I had to, you know, she allowed me to learn things and figure things out at a very young age. So I contemplated that a lot because as we get older and mature and we see other things, like being in different experiences, and you see other people's parents and you do things, and, you know, I know I was potentially going to be a parent a couple times. So I had to actually really understand what that meant. Like, what did that mean? So shout out to my mother, because what I have concluded that it meant was that my mother was the first person that had confidence in me, even at an early age, where she felt as though my son won't fail. He won't let me down. And I can take the handlebar, I could take the training wheels off of his bicycle early. Now, I know that was a different time than the times that we in now.
For real.
You know, but I thank my mother for that. And like you said, making my mother proud, you know, of the things that I do and the life that I created for myself, that she gets the benefit from, and others,
Word.
and I thank her for that, because I didn't understand if at one point in time, I thought I was missing something. And I was like, you know what? I wasn't missing anything, because I always have made a way. I always have had people, or good people around me, to lead me in the right direction, to give me positive and helpful advice, to inspire me to do things, to encourage me to do things. And it was my mother, knowing that he gonna pay attention. He gonna, when they tried to put me on Ritalin and stuff like that, she was like, "Nah, I'm gonna beat his ass." You know, she's like, "Nah, we're not gonna do the drugs. I'm gonna beat his ass." You know, and I just thank my mother for that on Mother's Day. Mom, enjoy your day. I know you out with baby sis right now. Y'all having a good time. Enjoy yourself. I love you. And I thank you, Mom, for taking the training wheels off early. I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now.
Word up.
And I'm always in training, because I'm always forever learning how to ride this bike of life. And sometimes you fall off, you hit a little bumps in the road, but that's all it is. You keep going. So I'm gonna keep my word that I got you, Mama, always and forever. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, guy. But tonight we are smoking on keeping your word. And if you all are new to the channel, what we do here is we break down, analyze, and define words, phrases, and sayings used in American culture. We have 3 questions that we always formulate around our phrase, word, or saying. And tonight we are smoking on keeping your word. Our 3 questions this evening will be: what do you think of when you hear the phrase keeping your word? Let us know in the comment section. We'd like to know what you think when you hear the phrase, when you hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm going to keep my word." "Oh, I got you." "Oh, I'm going to do that." Second question: what has caused American culture to undervalue keeping your word? And our third question this evening will be: how does keeping your word or not keeping your word affect personal and professional relationships? So please let us know in the comment section, in the chat, what you think. What you think of when you hear the phrase keeping your word. And as we go along through the show, let us know what you think when we get to question number 2 and question number 3. And what we do is we're going to answer question number 1, and then we're going to get to the definitions. So question number 1, the guy Ali Dawu L at BK Soul Farm. I feel like Don Cornelius every time I get
Yo, that's what I was thinking when I came up with everything, right? It was like I wanted to get a feeling when you said it. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool.
I got to work on my Don voice, my soul train. I got to work on that soul farm. But
That's
yeah.
cool.
So what do you think of when you hear the phrase keeping your word, God?
Peace, peace. Dope topic, dope phrase. I think of 2 things off the top of my head. The very first thing I think about is credit. Uh,
Credit.
um, and I think of word is born, right? So as far as credit, in my mind, before whether this is right or wrong, right? Because capitalism is what it is, and people can manipulate however they get a chance to. But in my mind, um, all a man had or a person had was their word. So when somebody asks something from you and you promised, right, that promise was counted on, right? It was it was depended on, right? It was something that was relied on, and it was almost like a cash check, right? It was guaranteed. It was almost like money in the bank, so to speak, right? Because for you to fail on your word, to default on your debt, right? You actually got locked up. They had debtors prisons, right? Because you failed to keep your word, right? And that word was to pay back um whatever it is that you owe. Um Word is born, or word is bond, um word made born, like that. I got, just because I jumped off the porch early too, and I was outside, and it was very important to keep your word, right? Like, you couldn't tell somebody that you was gonna be somewhere and not be there, right? Like, to not keep your word is was was about as bad as stealing from somebody, right? Like, you can get into a whole fight for letting somebody down, right? And because you because you really ain't got no good reason, like, unless you're dead, or unless something like really 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 happened. um so that's what I think about. I think about credit, um and 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 how credit has evolved since, from at least in my mind, the concept of it, right? You borrow something, or you use something, and in hopes that you're going to pay it back later. And now, we get these credit scores, and everybody's trying to raise their scores, and get as much credit as they possibly can. And they tell you what the sweet spot is, like 30% or something like that, or 35% to don't use the max, or something like that, um, to show that you're responsible. And a lot of people don't take heed to that, right? And when they don't take heed to that 30 to 35%, whatever the number is, it makes it a whole lot harder for them, you, me, to keep our word, right? Because we have exceeded the bounds of our capability. Like, in my mind, that 35% is a calculated number that somebody came up with, that says this is what is safe that you can use, and you won't hurt yourself. To go beyond that, like, you taking a bigger risk, and it's gonna be harder for you to keep your word, and it might hurt your credit down the line, and make you a harder credit risk, make it harder for somebody to loan you money or something like that. That's, at least that's what I think, God. I think credit, and I think word is bond.
No doubt. No doubt. Credit, on that credit part, that 30%, you're right, it's 30%.
30%.
But but that's a horrible rule though. Like, that's a horrible rule. Because most people don't stick to that anyway.
Yeah, that's hard.
Like I always suggest, check out Bo's podcast, Bo's on the Table podcast. I have a credit in lieu of cash, where you don't worry about the 30% rule. You just use your cash. You just use the credit for all the benefits, the plus points, and the cash back and the bonus, but you don't spend the money too. You take the money that you would spend on the card and use that, and then you pay your debt off. So then you don't keep a balance, or you only keep a balance where you only keep a balance that you have the money to pay. So that discipline right there should be taught more, versus
That's what
use 30%,
and that's what I'm saying. I
keep
think
you hanging in this trap of highest interest rate.
I agree, but I think the 30% is to help us do exactly what you saying, right? Because I don't think
Nobody does the 30. If you doing the 30, you over.
yeah.
Most people who doing the 30 is over.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just not a good practice at all. Like, it's not. And it's tough when you have things, but you have to learn to say no. My situation different. Like, everybody has their own level of responsibility, and then they also have their own level of their psychological mentality about it. You know, because I spoke to a cousin of mine, and they were like, you know, I can't tell my kid. I don't like telling my kids no. So I was like, but you complaining about your credit and about not having money, but you not trying to be disciplined or something. I'm like, didn't our parents tell us no? But that's why I don't like telling them no, because we got told no. I'm like, but you know, I'm just like, so I don't know what to tell you, family.
You ain't died, did you not?
Yeah, I was like, we had stuff. You know, one of them things where I was just like, my mom took the training wheels off me early, was because I wanted some Stan Smith Adidas. They was black with the 3 stripes, with the white 3 stripes. And she was like, no, if you want them, then you're gonna have to do what you need to do to get them. She was like, I'm gonna get you some shoes, but I'm not paying that type of money for those, you know? So I had to figure out, you know, so got me a lawnmower, got me a rake, got me a shovel, you know, went door to door. Can I cut your grass? Can I rake your leaves? Can I do something? You know, you need some help with this. Go work with Mr. So-and-so. Go, work with Granddad. Go do, so, and I got my shoes and I got the sweatpants and the jacket. You feel me? So when I went back to school, like I was fresh. I was like, man, you can't tell me nothing. Oh, y'all looking crummy. I'm fresh. I'm super fresh. They like, you got the matching that one day. You know what I'm saying? You know that. Hey, then you gotta wear the pants one day with something else and the shoes. You mix it up. But
you gotta figure it out,
But that one day though, you couldn't tell me nothing. I had the hat, the jacket. I was fresh, man. But definitely that 30% rule is crazy. Something else you said too, you said telling people that you're gonna be somewhere and you're not. So I had to grow into that, because growing up in certain neighborhoods where I grew up at as a teenager, I began to do that so people would know where I was going to be at. So I might be like, I'm gonna be over here, and or I might be like, meet me over here. I'll be over there in a few minutes. And I just dip. I just go somewhere completely different. I don't even think. I already know when I'm telling them that I'm gonna be over there. But some people knew. Like, man, Earl ain't gonna be over there, man. He about to go. But anybody that I could get with that, where they'd be like, man, let's go do, and I'd be like, all right, yeah. Let me just go run through this real quick. I'll be right back. Like,
I ain't going.
they ain't see me for like 2 or 3 days. They be standing over there, But it was just because, at that part of my youth, I had a lot going on. Yeah. So it was to me, I thought that it was beneficial to not let everybody know, except for people that I really trusted, where I was going to be, and a lot of people wanted to hang around me. So I had to be like, I'm going to be over here, but really I ain't going to be over there, So keeping your word, what do you think of when you hear the phrase keeping your word? Off top, I could trust you. That's what I'm thinking right off top. If you say you're going to do something, then I trust you. I trust that you're going to do that until you show me something different. So automatically for me, I believe you if that's what you tell me, because I don't have any other reason to not believe you. So it's, for me, it's like, okay, you tell me you're gonna do something, I trust you. I trust and believe that that's what you're gonna do. So that's the only way that I see keeping your word is something that's trust. And when there's no trust, and when the trust is broken, then it's just like, okay, you know, what do we do from here? Because your actions don't match your words. You know, now, not being a hypocrite, but I said I was doing that younger. A lot of people wouldn't trust my word when I was, you know, people would be like, you sure? People that I did that to before, they'd be like, nah, I'm gonna go with you. Let me just go with you. You know, people would be like, nah, Earl ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know, I know what he be on, you know. So like some friends that you be with, they a tell, you know, I'm like, man, why you say something? You know, because I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to ghost these people or whoever, you know, just trying to hit them with the little, you know, woo wop real quick. So I can, you know, going on about my business, do something that I really want to be doing instead of hanging with them. But, and a lot of times that was like smoking too, you know, like people want to smoke a blunt with you. Man, we want to smoke a blunt, man. I'm like, I'm not smoking no damn blunt with y'all. You know, like my girl get ready to come pick me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm get ready to go hang out with my girlfriend. Like, I'm gonna smoke with my girl. You know, that's what I was on. So yeah, so just keeping your word. You know, when I hear the phrase like I'm gonna keep my word, I'm gonna keep my word. Like you could trust me. Oh, that's my word. That's my word. You know, when I hear that, that's when, like, that I'm supposed to believe you, that it's something believable, that it's something that I can honor, you know, that it's the truth, that it's honest, that it's some integrity involved in. But when it's not, then until it's revealed, like I got a homeboy and I love him to death, but he's what do you call people who just lie for no reason?
Liars.
He just liars, right?
Right.
I thought it was a clinical diagnosis and shit, but
I
like,
was thinking, and I was like, nah, that's for people that steal stuff.
yeah, that's klepto. Yeah, I knew I couldn't call him a klepto because he ain't never stole. You know, not that I know of. You know what I'm
I
saying?
was
But
like, I think they
at
just
least
call
from
it.
me, he ain't never stole from me. You know, we respect each other that much. But he be
Maybe,
lying.
maybe delusional. If it's clinical,
Delusional, yeah, delusional.
maybe clinically delusional, maybe.
Maybe delirious.
Yeah, right.
But
That's nicer than liars, right?
that's nicer than lying. You know, you don't never tell the truth. But he does, like, he lie about like stuff that has, it's just like little stupid stuff. And it's like, why you even lie about that? Like, what was the point? Like, who were you around, or what were you trying to, you know? So his word, like, it's so crazy because I can value his word. I know when to value his word, and I know when he full of shit. You know? So because we had a relationship, you know, I understand that. But I don't have room for a lot of people like that in my life.
Hell no.
You know?
What?
You know, so I can't, you know, like I can't take on nobody new with that characteristic.
Hell nah.
You know,
Man,
nobody new.
I'm too old to learn some new, because something like that take a long time to learn.
I known this person 30 years.
That take a long time to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah. I known this person 30 years. They a friend. They a family friend, like a
Right, like
brother, like a cousin, yeah. But you
and
know,
a brand new 30 years with somebody doing some janky stuff. For what?
for what?
For what?
For what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got in the chat. Shout out to my man Bobby T. Shout out to
Yo,
Bobby Taylor, man.
Bob T, what up?
Bobby T. To keep your word means to follow through on a promise, commitment, or statement you've made. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. I like that word promise. We're gonna get into that later on. And then
Commitment.
And then what he says, it reflects integrity, honesty, and reliability, showing others that you can be trusted to do what you say, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. Man, shout out to Bob, man.
Yo,
Shout out to Big Bob.
that word right there, we're gonna have to bring that one up, this comment up later, because that word integrity.
Integrity.
That's the that's the thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
that's a good comment.
Definitely.
All right.
Yep. So
Like, yeah, son, like even like back in the day, like even today, like somebody tell you something and it sound crazy, you be like, word, they be like dead ass. Like they say dead ass, like that's what it is. Like there's no more reason to that, culturally, right? Like there's no more reason to doubt this person. But if it turns out to not be that, man,
then it's like, then you looking crazy.
you looking crazy.
Then you looking crazy, like just own up. Don't look like it. Don't stand. Don't die on a lie. Like
Yeah,
take.
those hands and feet when we was younger.
I mean, I don't know. Like I don't know, God. Like
Around my way, it was hands and feet,
yeah,
bro.
it
Like
was
that.
different
It was
because
important to keep your word, bro. It was important to have integrity because
yeah, but with my friends though,
yeah,
with my friends, like we never did that to each other. With my neighbors, like people I live next door to, all my people I grew up with and everything like that.
yeah,
Like nah, like we ain't do each other like that. If we
correct.
said something, we was about it. But I don't get where now, that's our second question of the evening after we, is why it's so devalued now. Like why is I could just tell you some shit, but it don't matter if I stand on it or not. Just keep letting me tell you some shit. Just let me tell you anything. Like
Yeah, no, I got. Oh
let me
yeah.
lie to you while I figure out when I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know, like I don't get that. I don't get the integrity. I don't get the maturity in that. I don't get the, I don't understand that behavior. Um, just because, you know, when it came to things that were significant, like I said, like we actually honored that,
Definitely.
to avoid conflict. I mean, I can even remember, even doing some negative things in my youth. Um, being questioned like by your friends, like, hey, why you do that? You know, or like saying something like um did you do that? you know like did you do that? Or you say, oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm definitely gonna do it. All right, well then they looking for you, to keep your word. Like somebody come around the neighborhood, like if I see this dude come around the neighborhood, like you tell somebody at school. I remember in like fifth or sixth grade, tell somebody, because we had a lot of girls, a lot of pretty girls living in our neighborhood. So guys from other neighborhoods would come around it. So you might like a girl, you know what I'm saying? You see the dude at school, you be like, and he like her. And you be like, if you come around my neighborhood to see her, I'm gonna beat you up. Right? So so
That's what
then
I'm saying. Hands and
he come around the neighborhood, right? And then your
feet.
friends run and come get you and be like, man, he over here, man, he over
Yo,
there,
man.
he on her porch. And it's like, oh yeah. All right. So then you come out the house, you gotta go whoop ass or get your ass whooped. You know what
One
I'm
or the
saying?
other.
One or the other,
One or the other.
so in a childish way, I get where it was still value, even though it was for ignorance. you know I should have been practicing my violin or the bass guitar or something, you know what I'm
But
saying?
no, yeah,
But
but at the same token, though, you were practicing and your friends were helping you practice good integrity, helping you be
yeah,
integral, right? Like if you say a thing, like 'cause you said it for a reason,
I said it because I like the girl, you
yeah,
know So
You
that
know,
was
and if you like enough to fight for it, then if Buddy come on the block, then you might go over there and go do that.
yeah. Shout out to April too. She never paid me any attention. Neither. She never liked me. She never liked me at all. Matter of fact, matter of fact, she didn't even speak to me after I beat that boy up. You know. But we cool. We friends on Facebook now. We all grown up. You know, I was a knucklehead, you know. But you know, moms was at work trying to keep the roof over the head, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, but keeping your word, to me, God has always been like Big Rob said, man, it reflects integrity, honesty, and reliability, showing others that you can be trusted to do what you say, even when it's difficult or inconvenient.
Yeah. And that's the part that difficult or inconvenient, right? That's why I'm saying like integrity I feel is waning right now, man. It's I don't want to say it's lost because like you said, I'm the hopeful one. but,
Right.
but God damn, I'm like I don't see it, man. I'm like, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is becoming one of those things that is becoming very foggy. You know, it's not as clear nowadays. You really have to wait and see.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
It's all about can I get away with it, or you know, they coining phrases. If you can get away with it, get away with it. You
yeah,
know,
that's horrible because it's no integrity in that.
look at that, short and simple and sweet.
Yeah. So tonight, y'all, we are smoking on the phrase "keeping your word." And right now, we pulled up the definition. I think, yeah, here we have. Um, well, you know what? Let's do this one first. We have several that we're going to look into. So let's pull up um, this one here. This is a plain English uh, casual dictionary. That's what they call this, the casual dictionary. Plainenglish.com lingo. Keep your word definition. And it says to keep your word is to do what you say you'll do. Simple. All right. Then we have back to the Merriam-Webster. Keeping one's word to do what one promised. Who is that one? That would be whoever you are, whatever you're promising, you know? And I think people don't realize that keeping your word is making a promise. That's why, you know, and right here, the thesaurus, keeping one's word isn't in the thesaurus, but there is a definition. And that's what we just showed. All right. And then we also have um, give one's word or give someone one's word.
hmm
Okay. And once again, that is to promise something. So I think what people fail to realize, what we are failing to realize, um, is that keeping your word is making a promise. Because we live in this world now where everybody's like, you know, promises are made to be broken. Well, I ain't promise you, you know.
Fingers crossed.
Well, actually, you did because you gave a person your word,
hmm
you know. And when you didn't keep your word, you actually broke your promise. So, you know, just having an understanding of what is supposed to be will allow us to act better, you know, for our actions to reflect, you know, something that exemplifies more integrity, more honesty, more trust. So let's look into the thesaurus to see what they have for giving one's word. And they have give one's word as in promise, to make a solemn declaration of intent. And it says here, she gave her word she would return home once the mission was complete. So promise, pledge, agree, guarantee, contract, accede, defiance, swear, covenant, plight, consent, assent, troth, assert, warrant, betroth, avow, avouch, affirm, engage, declare, undertake, insist, ensure, and vow. Okay. And then we wanted to go over to, since keeping one's word is a promise, let's actually see what a promise is. So we'll pull up promise. Promise is a noun. And promise is a declaration that one will do or refrain from doing something specified. You have B, a legally binding declaration that gives a person to whom it's made a right to expect or to claim the performance or forbearance of a specified act. 2, reason to expect something. So right there, when a person makes a promise, then you're giving to the other person. When you give your word, you're giving to the other person the expectation. I think that
reason to expect something.
Yeah, you're giving them, but you're giving them an expectation.
Yeah.
Because your word is. That's why I said earlier, like, I don't know you. You're not a liar unless unless you do it, unless you don't keep your word.
Correct.
The trust is there. But now, whoever I gave my word to, I said I'm going to do something more. They expecting something now. They have an expectation because they trust in my word. So if I don't keep my word, now I'm looking like a liar to them. And that's not to exclude real things that happen, like real things that cause delay. Not to say that an excuse is bad. Like, oh, the situation changed. I was going to be able to do it, but now I'm going through this difficulty. It's going to take me a little bit more time. I'm not going to be able to do that today. We're going to have to reschedule for next week. Something came up, whatever that is. But that right there keeps the other party, whoever I gave my word or I made the promise to, that gives them information. So now they can be more considerate of and patient on waiting for me to keep my word. Especially, so then we have 2, promise 2, especially ground for expectation of success, improvement, or excellence. 3, something that is promised. Then we have it as a verb, to pledge to do, bring about, or provide. 2, archaic, is warrant or assure. 3 is chiefly dialectical, betroth. 4, to suggest beforehand, a give, promise of. And then we have the intransitive verb here, to make a promise, to give ground for expectation, to be imminent. So let's look at promise in the thesaurus as well. And they give it to us 3 ways, as in to vow, as in to predict, as in vow. Pardon me. So As into vow, our first one is to make a solemn declaration of intent. I intend to do that. I'm going to do it. They promised to keep in touch with us after they moved away. All right. I'm horrible at that. Right there. Not with everybody, though. But, you know.
It depends on what you mean by keep in touch.
I mean, I call.
I call. I shoot a text.
A text.
Right?
I do a text.
I reach out. I'm just not the.
It's not every day, though.
I'm not an everyday. I'll be doing stuff, and
yeah,
I think a lot, and
I get distracted.
I get distracted easily.
I get productively distracted easily.
Correct.
You know, but anybody that I ever promised to keep in touch with after I move, you are always in my heart. I want to look dead and smack in the camera and let you know you're always in my heart. I appreciate and thank you. I have lived in so many different communities all up and down the Eastern Shoreboard and Western Shoreboard for my career, and been a guest in so many different neighborhoods and communities, and always have been well loved and given the respect to those people in that community because they accepted me as a guest and knew that my stay was temporary. So love to all y'all. Happy Mother's Day to all them mothers too. So we have vow, swear, pledge, ensure, covenant, agree, guarantee, insist, give one's word, plight, undertake, consist, assent, declare, accede, troth, affiance, affirm, betroth, contract, assert, avow, aver, engage, warrant, and avouch. Then we have promise, as in to predict, to show signs of favorable or successful outcome. Keeping your word, to show signs of a favorable or successful outcome. Making a promise, to show a sign of a favorable or successful outcome. And then we have synonyms: warn, predict, hint, indicate, bid, fair, bold, forebode, anticipate, forebode, suggest, forecast, augure, prophecy, foresee, presage, forewarn, imply, foretell, divine, prognosticate, signify, foreshadow, pretend, allude, prefigure, betoken, foreknow, connote, imitate, harbinger, pre-signify, insinuate. And then we have vow, the last synonym, the last synonym of promise, as in vow. This is a different vow, a person's solemn declaration that he or she will do or not do something. Like, I promise you, I ain't gonna do that shit no more. I promise you, I won't. See, and this right here is good. And you know why this is good? Is because this is like an apology. A person's solemn declaration that he or she will or will not do something. You make an apology, I promise I won't do that no more. Right? Now, that's a vow. Now, if I keep doing it, then should you value my word? Or how many times do I do it? How many times do I tell you I won't do something? Do I make a promise to not do something? And then I keep doing it? Do you, how many times do you allow me to do that before you say, okay, I can't trust you no more? And that's what I was talking about, like with my friend who be lying about little petty stuff, you know? It's like, okay, you just keep lying about little petty stuff. So I can't really trust anything that you be saying. You know, I have to make sure that you're talking about something serious in order for me to know that, okay, you're not bullshitting. Because when you're talking about something serious, you tend to not lie. But any other little random thing, like you just You can't help to just, I don't know what's going on in your brain. You just got to make it fantastical, you know. So we have vow, pledge, assurance, oath, word, commitment, obligation, guarantee, contract, agreement, troth, covenant, arrangement, guarantee, appointment, engagement, compact, security, warranty, undertaking, token, deposit, bond, gauge, bail, and pawn. All right. Got to make bail, got to make bond. Making arrangements, making agreement, keeping your word. That's an agreement. That's what you,
Obligation,
it's an obligation, right? You're making a guarantee.
security,
There's security in that. I can trust you, right? That's a covenant, right? And the covenant is holy.
that's interesting. Security.
Okay. So we have just read the definition of keeping your word, which is commonly referred to as making a promise. So we went through promise and to give one's words. We went through some synonyms and everything. So moving to our second question of the evening, God, what do you think has caused American culture to undervalue keeping your word?
Peace. Yo, like that. That was something. Originally I've written down. I said, we just don't understand English. I put that it's just too many perspectives, right? And we're all coming from different places, different walks of life. We have different uh uh colloquial lingos, right? And when we mash them together, we just hard to understand each other. That was my first thought process. And and then I thought about how it is that we get confused. And I started thinking about social media, because when you started talking about your friends, right, that's when I wrote down social media. Because with your friends, you growing up, you would be practicing integrity with them, and they're helping you enforce um being integral. But on social media, we so-called get friends, right, with people we don't even know. They get the title of friends, and I think that title of friends that we get on social media devalues the actual friendships that we've developed in real life, right? And we let the ones and zeros dictate and manipulate our ships, friendships, relationships, um, all the different ships, right? Um, but then looking at the going through the dictionary, which I was pleasantly surprised that the phrase was listed in multiple sources. But that last one, the word security stuck out to me, you know, and thinking how we get to devalue here in this country. Um, Something as simple as a security guard, nobody respects. The security guard hold his whole their not his their whole function is to keep that physical security of that space safe, right? Everything that's in that space, everybody that's in that space is supposed to be depending on the level, like granted, I'm not delusional. I know that there's levels of, you got top flight security, you got armed security, you got Secret Service. I get all that. I'm more so just speaking about the position and what their job is entailing, uh, per se, right? Like even if it's as simple as the mall guy going around with the gun and just swiping. I was here, I was here, I was there. You know, their role is to deter um, theft, right? They're not even there to stop it, but they're there to deter it in hopes that these locations don't lose something. And I bring that up because a lot of people, for physical security, they pay security folks less than everybody else in the organization. Like a janitor in some institutions or organizations will get paid more than your security guards. And to me, the security guard is making sure that the building is not infiltrated, making sure that everybody that's in there is supposed to be in there, that nobody that's not supposed to be in there is not in there, and that person, I'm not saying they should be getting paid the most, but I'm thinking that they have a very important job, right? Because when I'm in my office with my back to the closed door, I'm trusting security walking around to do their job and keeping me safe. I'm not sitting in my office strapped up, wishing the mofo would, looking over my shoulder. I'm at work, trusting the process of security, right? So to think that we devalue security guards and to take it to a step further to information security, like IT level, um, s- all we got people turn off their security. People, because it slows down your computer, slows down your processing. It interferes with you getting hacked or you allowing yourself to be taken advantage of by people that's looking to just send you stuff, hoping that you're just gonna click a link, right? Like the security that's in these systems, a lot of people bypass professionally for ease of work in the professional world, right? Like a lot of programmers and developers and engineers like to turn off security to make their stuff work better. But when you turn off security, you make the whole thing vulnerable, right? And a lot of times, they think, or they in practice they think it's, well, nobody's gonna know because it's just me that's doing it, and they do it real quick, and then they forget to go back and turn back on security, right? And now we start getting all these vulnerabilities, and now your whole system is in jeopardy because people don't take security as serious as it should be, right? So I thought that was a very interesting word to pop up, and so that's what I think, man. I think that we just, um, I don't even think that we even look at safety the same way as we used to as children, right? Even though you and I both jumped off the porch early, I think that we had a greater understanding of safety, of what of being safe, back in those days than now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but we had I know for sure in my community, like, we had like I said before on shows plenty of time, we had Miss Kitty, we had Miss Gail, we had Miss Anthony. Shout out to Miss Anthony. Like she was in everybody business. She really was. Like Miss Annie was in everybody business. That was Beto's mom. And shout out to her because she is the one who, once I became a homeowner,
Hmm.
realized like the value in community and what she was doing. Like
It's
she
important.
wasn't she was quick to get involved to try to resolve a thing, to try to have what you call the mediation or conflict resolution,
Hmm.
because she understood then, like, if you keep calling the police, then it doesn't matter what type of crimes they are. it lowers the property value
Mm-hmm.
because now it becomes a high crime rate. Like if when you buying a home, they have these things like crime checker and things like that. Like that lowers your property value when you have the inability to communicate and resolve your issues and you have to call the police. Like it just keeps lowering your, and it don't have to be for like no violent crimes or nothing. It just have to be like a whole bunch of little dumb shit, and that'll deter somebody who wants to move in, who
Yeah.
wants to, you know, like, and it'll hurt other people who are trying to sell their homes in that community as well, you know. So shout out to Miss Anthony,
Yeah.
and security was different, but she made us keep our word. You know, she was like, y'all cool, all right then, y'all know y'all live around here, y'all need to, you know. She didn't encourage, you know, if somebody else come around here, then y'all be knuckleheads with them. But like we was already doing that. She just wanted us to coexist with each other to maintain the value of our community.
Correct.
You know? So I get that. And you had to keep your word, you know, because if she caught you doing something, yeah, she was telling your mama, you know, or your daddy or somebody, you know,
And she was serious about
yeah, she was serious. Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. She was like, you know, she might try to grab you and be like, come on, we going to your house right now. I'm gonna take my titties
Exactly.
off. Yeah. You know, like, yeah, man. But that was a different day. You know, that was before, you know, mothers got ignorant, like, don't put your hand on my, I'm gonna beat you up, you know, and then people start fighting the other people because they trying to, you know, keep it from the police bringing their little badass, bringing my little badass home, you
Yeah.
know, or not bringing my badass home, and now my parents got to come up and get off work or something or whatever whatever they doing to try to provide for me to now come and have to go and get my little dumb ass out of, you know, some handcuffs.
Mm.
So, you know, I value it. I value it. You know, I value those lessons growing up. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what has happened. Like you said, the social media aspect of it, you know, where fake it till you make it. So a lie is cool. You know, that could be one dynamic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like it's a dynamic, this whole fake it till you make it, you know, like you
Yeah.
know, like we was talking about the only show the highlights. Like when people say you only show the highlights of the stuff on Facebook, you know,
Yeah.
or on your social media. You never show when you're struggling, right? And I'm just like, hey, like you can show whatever the hell you want to show, but in real life, you know,
Mhm.
in real life, you really have to go through that. So whatever people are seeing, that's just what you have the ability to allow them to see. If you want to share your meals and, you know, like I don't do it. I was just grilling today, you know, like I ain't show the meal to nobody, you know, I ain't post my meal. Like I don't do that, you know, because I'm actually enjoying it. I did it for me, for that experience. But everybody's entitled to do that what they want. If you want to share things that, you know, but it's one of them things where, not straying away from what we talking about, is the illusion of what's real and what's not. So because it's okay to fake shit, it's okay to not give a fuck about you and say like, oh, well, that's your problem. That ain't my problem. You know, to not have consideration or compassion, to tell you something, to tell you, oh yeah, God, I got you, God, I got you, God, I got you, God, but then I don't never had you,
There's no security.
you know, then it's like, okay, so do I not value the relationship that I have with you? Do I,
If you never got me, no, you don't.
you know, do I not value where we are, you know, like how we are existing, you know, or in whatever space that we exist in, like even if it's at work, you know, am I not valuing that? So, you know, I think people do it at work sometimes and then they don't even do it at home. You know, I know we have instances of that where people go to work and go all out, you know, be the most polite, careful, keep their word, had the most integrity, and then get home and it's like, thank God that's over. I could just,
Yeah.
like now I can come home and just
Be myself.
shit on everybody. You know what I mean?
I had to fake it all day.
I had to fake it all day. Now I can just be my real crappy ass self, low integrity, no, you know what I'm saying, unhonest, unreliable, So we see it in multiple areas, but I don't know like I can't pinpoint the specific cause, but I know that all of it matters because it's just like, even in the music, they got this thing that the jits say they talking about backdooring somebody, like that's cool, to actually be deceptive and line your friend up, or act like you gonna do something, don't do it, but cause somebody to get hurt. Like that's in their culture, where they think that that's okay. That they think that that's a cool thing, to be deceptive, to not keep your word, to be, untrustworthy. So I don't even know a solution for that. A lot of times, I would just say, people have to really look at themselves and see if that's really who they want to be. Is that really how you want people to see you? Because what'll happen is one person may see it, but if that's you and that's how you are, then other people are going to see it too. And once the word gets out that that's how you are, then people are going to be looking for that, and then that sticks on you. It's just like a liar or somebody who steals, or somebody who fornicates a lot, right? Like a player, right? Whatever your gender, then they looking for that. They like, oh yeah, he, she, they like this, that's what they do. They always looking for somebody to screw. So you're going to get that. And that's where, keeping your word, to me, is like, okay, you can keep your word and be like, I'm gonna fuck somebody up. I'm gonna whoop somebody ass. I'm gonna do that. You keep your word and do that too. But what if in doing that, like I said, my boy would come grab me when I was talking about the little junior high school, middle school thing. And what happened? Like, what if I would have ran up there and he would have shot me?
You'd be dead.
I wouldn't even be here to talk about it today.
Hopefully you wouldn't be dead, but
it's a possibility.
Yeah.
So being so eager to keep my word for something negative.
Yeah.
Instead of just realizing like the little girl like him, she don't like me.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. Because we never dated anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like never. Like never.
You just got into a fight for no reason.
For no reason. Just I knew why I was fighting.
Yeah, but
I know why I was fighting now, because I had a stepfather in the house, but he wasn't present. And I didn't have a dad in the house. So, and like I said, mom took the handlebars off me. I think it's one of the worst things. Like I think I might have shared this. I never fought. I fought one time because somebody said something about my mother in school, right? And she had to come get me. I got suspended. And she beat my ass, right, for getting suspended. But she told me, I'll never forget it. She said, that person don't know me. That child does not know me. And I don't need you as a child to protect me.
My mom said the same thing.
I am your mother. I protect you. Yeah. You see, I tell you what to do. I don't need you to protect me. I need you to be a child, do your schoolwork, and stop fucking up for me to have to take off the work to come up here.
But
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
I understand that, like, like, no, like as a child, you don't need no. The parent is the protector. You are the child,
Hmm.
So, I seen stuff where I just be like, man, like it's nowadays you might get something, where people telling children to protect adults, type shit. And it's like, that's bad. Let a child be a child while they can be a child in this world,
Correct.
because the grow up time is coming.
Yeah,
The grown up shit is coming for real.
yeah. Because even on that note, like I could think of like a dad telling his son, hey boy, you the man of the house when I leave the house, kind of thing. Um, he might say that to try to, you know, give his son a little extra uh sense of not entitlement, but calm down and focus. But everybody realizes that mom is right there.
Yeah,
And she,
mom is in
she
charge. What mom
mom is
says, go.
mom is right there.
Well, mom said, get your ass in here. You get your
That's,
ass in
that's,
here.
I'm the
You know,
man of the house now. The dad, yeah, right.
yeah.
Get your ass in here.
It's so funny, man. Like it's so funny, God, because I be sitting back like like my mom used to go to, because it's Mother's Day. Shout out to all the moms out there. My
Shout
mom
out,
used to
shout out.
she used to stand, she used to come on the porch and stand at the top of her lungs and yell, Arrow. You
Mhm,
know what I'm saying? Because I'd be somewhere up the street, around the corner,
mhm,
and a
mhm.
lot of older guys, they'd be like, time for you to go in the house. So they was looking for it, like they was looking for it. So I ain't even have to, I ain't even, if I ain't hit, I was playing or fighting or whatever the hell I was doing, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't even have to hit, because somebody will always
Yeah, like your
hear
mom's
it.
calling you.
You like, your mom's calling you,
It's
you
like, for
know.
real, I don't hear nothing. Yeah, she calling.
you know.
Mess
Then
around
she,
and don't go if you want to.
yeah, then she might, she was hitting the high. She'd be like, "Don't make me have to call you again." I'm like, how you get all that shit in one syllable, you know? And then you see me going in the house, man.
Hell yeah.
But definitely, and she would keep her word, because if I ain't bring my ass in the house, the one thing I didn't want her to do was come off that porch, you know, because I knew that was going to be a fight that I wasn't going to win.
Correct.
Yep. So, answering our second question this evening, what has caused American culture to undervalue keeping your word? I think it's a host of things. It's social media, it is the music, it is people not valuing and honoring things that they say, their promises, people not even knowing that when you say you're going to do something, you're making a promise. People get caught up in, oh, it's a threat, oh, it's a this. Well, you can interpret it how you want to interpret it. But if you try somebody and they show you, then they kept their word. But there's a lot of remember I was talking about that mindset of, I wish you would.
Hmm.
It's like, instead of respecting the person's word, understanding like a person has never lied to you before. Like that person never lied to you, right? So why would you think that even in uh, a difficult situation, that they would still be lying to you? Why would you think that they wouldn't keep their word in that too? But when you have a chip like, I wish your motherfucker would, or I wish you would, then you're allowing yourself to find out if that person gonna keep their word or not.
In fact, you want to find out because you actually don't value this friendship possibly, and you might be looking for a way out.
Right, right.
Because
Or
why would
looking for a
why would,
fight,
yeah, because why would you try them unless you just want to fight?
unless you just wanted to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, You know, like why you gonna try the person? You know, like
Yeah.
leave them alone, believe them. You know, they never lied to you, not once, even to So that's where I think that American culture has undervalued it because people have their own um, you know mindsets of what they think that keeping your word is, their own representation, and we're not taught that keeping your word is a promise. It isn't valued. People think that the cultural norm is, oh, promises are made to be broken. Oh, I know I said that, but it ain't that important.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, well, if you said that, how, why would you say that if you didn't, to that person, if you didn't think that that person was going to have an expectation?
That's definitely TV guy, like something like that, because it's almost like what you see a lot of times on old school TV shows. Somebody like, oh man, next time you're in town, you should come over, and they show you on something like what want to say the Seinfeld episode, like the person actually show up, and they be like, whoa, I was just saying that I ain't actually mean for you to actually show up. That was just a polite thing that we said.
I was just saying you should show up, but I ain't really mean you should actually pull up, right? Yeah.
Right? And I think so many people got used to being sarcastic like that and just saying things flippantly and not having no real intentions on keeping their word. Right? It's kind of like what you said earlier about like your man's the one to go burn, and he's like, yeah, but my girl about to come through. Yeah, I'm gonna meet y'all over there. but
Yeah.
but I'm gonna go to the crib, right? Because that's where, or I'm gonna go wherever she at, because that's better.
Yeah, yeah. I just tell him yeah, I'm gonna meet y'all over there. I wouldn't even tell him my girl coming. I knew my girl was coming
Yeah.
because that I ain't had no cell phone, right? That was before cell phones.
Yeah.
So we already had talked before I came out the house.
And you could not miss that.
You're right. So I knew where she was gonna be. She was gonna be at grandma's house, and I knew how much time it took. So I ran up the street, dude, and I'm like, yeah, what y'all gonna do? Oh yeah, I'll be over there in a minute. And then I'm gone. Shit, we out, we at the movies and everything else.
Hell yeah.
I ain't even caring about what they got going on. I see them next day or whatever. So, you know, moving on to our third question of this evening. How does keeping your word or not keeping your word affect personal and professional relationships? Let us know in the chat what y'all think. How does keeping your word or not keeping your word affect personal and professional relationships? And you can start anywhere, guys. You can go with the personal, you can go professional, you can go
Hey,
with keeping your word or not keeping your word.
I was gonna start with the professional first because I'm gonna say for me that one is tricky because I'm not sure. Because as an employee, if you fail to keep your word, then you get negative, you get bad evals, and you're liable to lose your job, right? Um, so that's the obvious impact of the employee not keeping their word. But when it comes to the supervisor or the actual organization not keeping their word, like that gets a little tricky because that can get into what was best for the organization or for the supervisor, right? Because people do a lot of snake stuff, and that I'm using the word snake stuff um, that they just chalk up as just being business, right? And so I don't know, like profession is hard, right? Like so I know not keeping your word as an employee, definitely a no is a bad thing. Get you laid off. Like even like getting laid off when you first start a lot of these jobs, right? Um, you haven't even earned vacation time in a lot of places, right? And if you take off when you haven't earned time, right? That's a form of breaking your promise and not keeping your word, right? Because you actually have not earned that time, and you said you wasn't going to take off until you actually cross a certain threshold. And a lot of young folks today um, lose their employment because they take off work too many days, right? Just they just have headaches. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel like it today, and they just like, oh, I'm gonna just take off, as if like they got all this time that they've earned, and they get upset when their supervisors or when the company lets them go, right? When it comes to personal relationships, um, keeping your word, not keeping your word is vital on both sides, because you're talking about trust, right? And once the trust is broken, it's gonna always be fractured. Even if you put some new sealant on it and smooth it out, there's always a thing there, right? There's always gonna be a remnants there. There's always gonna be a rub there. There's always gonna be a side eye. There's always gonna be a thought, a hint, a fragrance, or something, right? And if you're strong enough in your commitment in your repentance, in your commitment to rehabilitate, in your commitment to this person and to your own vows, like they said, right? This is all about your vows. Like, so if you are serious about the words that you actually said, and make the change and the effort, and both of you guys are serious about that, then you can work it out. But if either one of you are not as serious, because the vows, at least a lot of the vows say good and bad times or something like that, right? So that means that the idea of a relationship, or at least a marriage, is not, there is no expectation of there always being good times in a marriage, right? there,
Right.
there's an expectation in the vows, at least the ones that show you on TV,
Yeah, for better or worse, right?
better or worse. So that means there's a
It's
worse.
sickness and health.
Sickness and health, right? That means that y'all both got to be mature enough, or should be mature enough to deal with that. And if you're not, then it's gonna falter, right? So um I'm not saying that you have to keep your word, but if you want a healthy relationship, it's probably vital um to make it a habit of keeping your word. Because if you break your word more than you honor it, then that's what you are, right? If you keep your word more than you break it, then that's what you are, right? So you know we just gotta practice good habits, man. just, just
Yeah. What if I like what you said, guys. You said if you break your word more than you keep it, then that's what you are. If you keep your word more than you break it, that's what you are. So that's where I have to improve, because I'll keep my word whether the action is negative or positive, because I keep my word. You see, so that's where I have to get better, because we in this
on that,
play
God.
victim culture now, where you throw rocks, hide your hand, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like you throw a rock at me, and then when I respond, now you record me, but you don't tell nobody you threw a rock,
Correct. But
right?
that's why with the maturity
So
we have discernment, right? To know that, to not do that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but you know what I'm saying, but that's why I said I have to work on it. Like, that's why I said
Yeah,
I ain't perfect, like I own up to my flaws too,
yeah, yeah.
like I'm still work in progress, you know, but if you give me once, you're not gonna give me twice. You know what I'm saying? So because I'm trying to be better. Always, I'm always striving to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, like I like regular, you know,
Fucking right.
like regular. So we got to keep that regular consistency. We have a full comprehension of what the word regular is.
And
Okay.
it just gets better from there.
And it gets better from there.
Like
So
once you get regular, it just gets better from
it
there.
just gets better from there. So that's where, like, I understand that I am a person who keeps my word, good or bad, you know, but I have to maintain the balance. I have to remind myself that there are people who want to play on you, who want to play on that because they don't value you, you know, whether it's jealousy, whether it's envy, whether it's just their own self-hate, you know, or uh, you know, some people like drama. Some people have to have drama in their life. They can't have peace. They don't like peace at all. You know, they gotta have some fucked up shit to tell somebody about something fucked up. You know, like I'm not the person that be calling people, telling people shit fucked up. I ain't that one. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that people call me be telling me fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'll forget first.
Yeah, like I'm the person who, you know, who like I call somebody. I'm only reaching out to people like, hey man, how we do this? How can we do this? How can we do? I'm trying to learn something. Like I don't be on that type time, you know.
Mhm.
So if I'm on some dumb shit, then you know I might dumb the fuck out, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to, you know, be mindful of, like you said, know thyself, is knowledge yourself, knowing who you are, you know, not trying to figure out who they is or who this is, that one or that one, you know, like understanding self better, right? So I can self-improve, so I can continue to self-improve. um our question is, how does keeping your word or not keeping your word affect personal and professional relationships? And I mean, I'm just gonna sum it up. Like, you're just not gonna have trust. It's just like you said, God, like the trust is going to be sacrificed, you know. And that's why I said, like, you could want to do something that is completely nice. We was talking offline. I ain't gonna go into the whole thing, but like you could do something that you know is a nice thing, you know, it's positive energy, but it's like if a person then showed you that they are manipulative, untrustworthy, you know, snakish, you know what I'm saying? Then how then how do you forget that and say, you know what, well, I'm going to do something nice. I'm going to say something nice, or I'm going to gesture something nice other than just, you know, being amicable and just saying, you know, like that's where it stops right there, like nothing else, because you know the niceness you don't value, you know, the not the nice, the politeness you don't value, the considerateness you don't value, the compassion you don't value, you know. So when the trust is gone, you know, I had this thing where like I don't argue with people no more. So if I bring something to you and then you know you argue with me and shit, like I don't say nothing else to you. You know, like I just be like, okay, because that's not how we're gonna solve a problem. We solve problems like in professional settings and everything. You sit down and you have a conversation. What is the problem? You know, plus I'm a man, you know, I will help solve some shit, especially if some shit that making me uncomfortable, I will help get it done, you know, but I'm not gonna help get it done with nobody being nasty. You know, like fuck that. I'm not gonna offer no solution. I'm not gonna offer no help or nothing that being nasty, you know, especially if I'm not being nasty. I'm trying to understand, how do we fix this, you know, because that's the type of person I am. But you're not gonna get to know that if you be nasty with me. If you be nasty with me, then my coping mechanism is to you know, is to say, okay, this person does not value the type of quality of person that you are. So they shouldn't get access to you.
Yeah, it
Because
should be super limited.
you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not no bum ass, and I'm not no bum ass nigga either, you know?
Yeah.
So that's not what we gonna do, you know? So I think that keeping your word in all of those situations, when it's not kept, it automatically, if I don't keep my word, then it automatically makes a person a non-believer, you know, and making a person a non-believer encompasses devaluing the trust that you have in that relationship, because they could believe in your word until your actions showed them something different. And once your actions showed them something different, then that said, okay, your word does not match with your actions. I can't value that, because I value when words match actions. If I say I'm going to be there at 6 and I show up at 5:45 and you pulling up at 6 o'clock, I was there. So you don't have to worry about if I say I'm going to be somewhere at 6 o'clock again. You know, my words match my actions. If I say I got you, just pull up to the arena, we going to the game, I got you, family. When you get there, it's not going to be, oh, you ain't got money for your ticket.
I said I got you. Because that'd be horrible. I think we would have to fight right there.
We wouldn't have to fight, because if I say
we
I got you at the game, I'm like, come on, let's go in the game.
Yeah, nah, I ain't mean you and me. We,
you know, like shit. I'm trying to go watch the damn game. You know how much I pay for these goddamn tickets. You know, I don't sit cheap. I don't be in the building. You know,
for real.
Because I don't go all the time. So when I go, it's a treat.
I want to go. I want to be super comfortable.
Yeah, I want to. Now, I might snap a flick for that. You know what I'm saying? But that's still personal. That's still personal, because I want to be like floor seats. Not quite on the floor, you know, a little back, but you know what I'm saying? We close enough. We could talk. We could talk some shit. We could say you bum, and they feel it. You know what I'm saying? Man, you need to play a little bit tougher, man. That shit is weak. They can hit it. You know, they can look back at you. You know,
that's crazy.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, God, but definitely that's where. And then in professional settings, I mean, your word is everything. I mean, when it comes to integrity, you know, I mean, I know I've been in the military, man, and every situation that you have, you know, when people are asking you for information, like your word is the most valuable thing, because that's what they trusting on it. You know, your word could be a matter of life or death.
Every single time.
And when you're trusted with that much responsibility, then you know, a lot of things that I took from the military, I apply to civilian life, and I realized a lot of people don't have that, you know, and I don't fault them for it, you know, but I'm just like, if you're not trying to do better, then, you know, no disrespect, but I don't have children to raise, and I'm not trying to raise no adults, you know. So like, I can communicate, I can be a mentor, I can be, you know, patient, you know what I'm saying? I'm working on that, you know, but I can't just be used and abused and treated like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm one of your equals, because I'm not. You know, if that's how you treat people, that's how you treat those people, but you got to treat me different, you know. Matter of fact, I always say, do unto others as you would do unto yourself. Okay. Not as you would have them do unto you, because people would do some shit to you and not give a shit about you. So if I treat you with respect the way I treat myself, that's why I give respect. Then there's an expectation from me that should be reciprocated. All right. If it's not, then that's then for me to realize, okay,
I got another decision to make.
Yeah, now I gotta do something different.
Hell yeah.
I need to know how to conduct myself going forward. because you're not going to respect me the same way that I respect you. You know, people don't get that. You know, I think it's just not a lot of people out here moving like that, you know, because everybody looking for a fight. Everybody want to be big and bad and shit like that, and be bullies, and you know, and be tough and all that other shit. And I'm just like, man, I'm not the person that you want to play tough with, man, for real. Like, I'm not that, because I don't be playing with people. I don't have time for that. You know, it's already, you know, I already been wearing this skin for damn near 50 years. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I just want to play in dirt and produce food, man. That's it. That's it.
You know, so it's like all that super tough, you know, like let's just keep our word. Let's have trust, build trust amongst each other. I think
Yeah.
I shared one of your posts that you shared about how, you know, we so cool with calling each other niggas and bitches and hoes and dog and all this other stuff, you know, and not realizing that, and then be quick to want to kill each other, you know, where it's like, because it's a disagreement, somebody gotta die,
Gotta die all the way to death.
you know. It's like it can't be resolved, you know. So if it can't be resolved, then what Pac say? Pac said, and they say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. And they say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. So is that what we living on? Is that what people standing on? And that's what seems to be the norm. That's what seems to be the norm, not valuing our promises and keeping our word, being respectful. None of that, you know, having some, what my man Bobby T say, some integrity, some honesty, some reliability, some showing others that you can be trusted to do what you say, even when it's difficult or inconvenient.
Yeah.
And when things get difficult or inconvenient, sometimes you have to do what? You have to talk about that. You have to explain it. I'm having a hard time with it.
Because it's hard.
Ain't nothing wrong with telling somebody I'm having a hard time with it. It's going to take me some more time to get it together.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's being truthful.
Honest.
That's being honest. That's having some integrity.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that will allow a person to extend their compassion, extend their, okay, all right, so how can I help? Especially if they've been in a helpful position,
I
especially
like what you said earlier. You said, when you brought it up, you said the word patience.
patience. Yeah.
I like that word. That made me think about it way differently.
Yeah. Cause I mean, it requires that though.
Yeah.
If somebody tell you something, right? Like, okay, here's the patience. God, we going to the game on Friday, the playoff game. All right. I got tickets. Right. Meet me at the arena. I'm telling you this on Sunday. We talking about next Friday. You gotta be patient to get there, to go through all that, to before you even rearrange your schedule, do whatever you got to do to make sure everything is everything, so you can clear your schedule, so you can be there on Friday. You gotta be patient to go through all that.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it's Sunday right now. We God, it's 9:45. Meet me at the arena in 15, 20 minutes. Let's go right now.
Yeah, that would be a no-go for me.
You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be an impossible for both of us right now. You know?
I
Yeah,
get it. I'm like,
playoff ticket. You know what I'm saying? I can watch it on the tube though.
yeah.
Thanks to my baby. Yeah, because I don't got cable, bro. We ain't paying for that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we got the internet though. We you know, we able to watch the game. But definitely keeping your word, that trust in a professional or a personal relationship, it's that trust, you know, and without it, you know, It's always a struggle.
Let me
So
ask you a question, God. Let me ask you a question because we're talking about trust, right? And I'm wondering now because I'm not. This is not a jab. This is to anybody religious. This is a question based off some religious stuff,
okay,
right? We're given that the first murder was one brother killing the other brother,
Cain and Abel, right?
right? If that's the lesson that is repeated to us in Sunday school over and over and over again, does that story instill trust or breaks up trust amongst siblings and families? Like, what are we supposed to take away from? I mean, obviously, we're supposed to take away the to have the most faith in God, but I'm talking about as far as
Well, okay, where it's like you shouldn't kill your brother.
obviously.
Let's look at the part. You know, you shouldn't kill your brother. You shouldn't be jealous or envious of your brother. You
Yeah.
know, you shouldn't want something that your brother has. You know, I mean, thou shalt not covet the neighbor's house. You know what I'm
See,
saying? And you shouldn't want nothing from. It's not just the neighbor's wife. It's the whole house. It's everything. You know?
everything over there.
Yeah. Like so. Those things, like, okay, people just don't value that shit no more. Like, you know, like people would say, oh, I'm Muslim, I don't follow that. Oh, I'm this, I don't follow that. Oh, I'm this, I don't follow that. Instead of looking at the lessons from it, you know, like Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, like he always quoting the Bible.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
He always quoting the Bible. And nobody's more Muslim than Minister Louis Farrakhan. All right. Nobody. All
Yeah.
right. So he always quoting Bible scriptures. But what is he quoting? He's interpreting and giving a lesson. So the Cain and Abel thing is just like that. Like you shouldn't be jealous. You shouldn't be envious, especially not of your brother. You know what I'm saying? Like your brother will help you. Your brother would die for you. Why you want to kill your brother? You know?
I get that aspect. Well, I'm looking at the other aspect of like your brother killed you.
I mean, that's just saying like some shit have happened. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying that's like
Ain't nobody perfect, right? Right? And then when they
like
leave it, you know.
it seems like all these stories um uh uh break up trust to me more so than like I get the other side of the story, like don't be jealous and stuff like that because it'll cause you to kill your brother.
Mhm.
I get that aspect of it. But on the other side of it, people like me, I saw it as, damn, I gotta watch out for my brother, right? Like, and
Man, you gotta look at your brother crazy, right?
right, and to carry that story further, I mean, it's like all throughout the religious text is betrayals within the family, and it seemed like they pick strangers um over the families, and that don't be the moral of the story, but it just be the things that be happening, that you just be seeing. Like you look at the Lot story, right? Like he was gonna offer up his daughter to keep the angels safe, right? Like, you know.
I mean,
I mean, granted, that wasn't the point, but it was what was happening, right? Like he was giving
yeah,
up his
I mean,
daughter.
all of that stuff to me just be like, okay,
No, I'm just saying, like
what's
as far
good that I could get out of it? Like, and that's
and no,
to answer
I
your
get that.
question. Like, what good can I get out of it?
Yeah,
Because I know killing my brother ain't the right thing to do. You
can't be.
know, like I got sisters and brothers, right? Like nothing. It's nothing that my brother could do. It's nothing that my sisters could do that will make me want to kill them. Nothing. It's absolutely nothing. You know. So maybe I'm able, or who did? Cain kill Abel,
Ah, ah,
right?
ah, 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 ah.
Maybe I'm able.
I don't know.
You know, I could get killed, but I ain't gonna do no killing, you know. But
I definitely
don't
could.
bet on that. Don't bet on that shit though. You know what I'm saying? But for them,
Yeah.
that's not like I'm always gonna be like, and I think they have a level of love for me too, that we gonna have a conversation, like, cause we ain't gonna get to that. You know, like it ain't gonna even if we did, like, see, black folks have elevated conversations, you
Hmm.
know, where they get loud.
Hmm.
All right. But at the same time, it's just like if ain't nobody threatening to hurt nobody, then it ain't that serious. All right. If then nobody throw no blows or ain't
Correct.
nobody, you know what I'm saying, then it ain't that serious. It's something that people can get past. Once people get out their feelings, you
Correct.
know, then you can get past it.
As long as
So
there's no threats, everybody's still safe.
yeah, no personal threats, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah. But I don't care. Like I done had my cousin threaten me before. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody do something to me, he gonna be the first person that's gonna sacrifice everything. He gonna be like that father that went and did what he did with that. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know how much he loved me. That's why he threatened me because I'm like, because my thing, because see, they know me. They know that my thing is I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna leave you the fuck alone. You see?
Yeah.
So when you want to talk to me, call me and talk to me, you know, and have a conversation with me. Let me know where you was at in your brain with it. I'ma listen. I'm gonna let you know where I'm at, and I'm gonna say what we gonna do, cause we still alive. You see? So, but you could threaten me though. Like I know you ain't gonna do shit. Like you know what I'm saying. You gotta kiss my mother, your sister. I mean, your mother's sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I know you ain't gonna do shit. You talking all that tough shit. Like, all right, tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna do shit for real. So you know, but I know how that's but I know if he was talking to somebody else, they need to be concerned.
Hmm.
You know, so I understand that, and that's what I'm saying. Like no, like all that Cain and Abel shit, like nah, family. You know, like that right there is just, an unfortunate story in the Bible. You know that. Like like who really want to kill somebody, man? Do you really want to kill your bro? Like all these, like, come on, bro. Like we take it to the lodge and don't nobody want to kill nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like even though people don't fake. You know what I'm saying? But I think that was a whole bunch of hold me back, hold me back type shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I do too.
yeah,
I do too.
it's like, come on, if you really gonna do something, man, you gonna do it. It ain't gonna
Yeah.
be no whole bunch of I do this and I do that and I like nah, man, like you.
Because there was a whole lot of space and opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, a lot of times when people doing a whole bunch of talking, man, it's just trying to, like I said, before I take responsibility, I said I have, ain't threatening no people, but I would use it as a deterrent because it seems like okay, so like if you a person who want to get all loud with all this, and I understand like okay, you just want to get loud, right? You just want to talk a whole lot. All right, so I just talk a whole lot with you too. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I just talk a whole lot with you too. Like I know ain't nothing about to get physical because I ain't trying to get physical,
Mhm.
right? Like I'm not trying to take it to no stupid shit. I ain't trying to get stupid, dumb, retarded, whatever the fuck they be talking about. Like I ain't trying to do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I really want to resolve so it can go back to being peaceful and everything
Mhm.
can be cool, right? But if you want to talk all that, I do that with my family. Sometimes, like cousins and shit like that. They call and it's just like, all right, man, all right, bye. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as you done, because I don't hang up on people neither. Like I think that's girlish, you know. So I don't hang up neither. I'm just not gonna argue with and then people get mad, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you ain't got nothing to say. You ain't got nothing to say. I'm like, man, I don't do all that. You know, so like when you ready to have a conversation, man, holler at me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna do this while you all huffing and puffing and all this big
Emotional.
bad wolf shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't about to blow nothing down. You ain't finna do nothing. You know, you ain't on nothing for real. You upset. I'm upset too. We both frustrated, but we need to resolve the shit because we just need to resolve it. It'll be better for both of us. That's what I be on. That's what type of
Yeah.
time I'm on in real life. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? In real life, that's the type of time I'm on. You know, and people who have had conflict with me know I ain't lying. No, I ain't lying. That's what I be on. They just don't get it because they be used to everybody else with the other shit. Everybody else want to turn up. Everybody else want to
Right.
fight. Everybody else want to drag shit on, go tit for tat, you know, go back and forth with niggas and shit. Like, I ain't got time for all that, man.
I want to resolve the conflict,
Yeah, like I don't got
and if
time.
and
I
if
don't
I
have
can't
no
and if
time
I
for nigga.
can't
No
and if
time
I
for
can't
nigga.
resolve it, I'm walking away.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm walking away. Like once I realize that, oh,
Oh,
this can't be resolved. Oh, they only want nigga activity. I'm good on that.
yeah, like I don't got time for no nigga, man. I did that already. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When cocaine was cheaper.
I
Like what
can't grow no food in prison.
can't grow no food in prison. I can't grill. You know, I can't take a vacation with my wife. I can't.
Hell nah.
I can't do none of that shit. I can't pull up at the barbecues, at the family reunions. I can't do none of that, man. So we ain't on that. You
Hell
know,
nah.
that's why I said like it's hard to even trust. Like I had friends back in the day, you know what I'm saying, who ain't my friends no more. We done got jammed up and stuff. They done tried to lie on me, tell on me, get me locked up. Like, man, you try to get me. Like the thing is I never, you know, I'm a big person that be like, fuck where you from. It's where you at.
Hmm.
All right. But where I'm from has taught me a lot of lessons.
Hmm.
Okay. And it is almost, I ain't gonna say it's impossible, but if you try to send me to jail, man, I'm almost never gonna fucking trust you ever.
Oh yeah.
Never. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because jail it can be permanent and can be bad and it's traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So like I don't think that shit cool at all. I think that's some cowardly sucker shit, especially
Yeah.
to them people that I grew up with, who they know who they is. You know, they know who they is, man. You know, over petty stuff, people not keeping their word, people not accepting accountability for their actions. So I've had these experiences young, you know. So when I see this young immature activity as an adult, it don't surprise me. It just be like that person got some growing up to do. You know, they need to live a little bit longer, go through a little bit more shit to appreciate, you know what I'm saying, how things really looking. They not seeing the big picture, you know.
You know, it's crazy that you said that because the world, the generation that we grew up in, you know, we had a lot more people had a lot more patience, we had a lot more time to learn. Our attention spans were a lot longer. This current time, it seems like everybody is super microwaved and it's super fast. So um, they're not actually getting that time to go through that process, right? It's almost seems like that's I don't know. It's like as soon as they get their face dirty, it's like their face is dirty forever. It seemed like, right?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. Your face don't have to be dirty forever.
It's called a
Because,
washcloth.
you know what I'm saying? Because you can be a certain type of way when you're young and you can mature.
Grow the fuck up.
You know, you can learn things, you can be exposed to different things. That's why I never, ever,
Yeah.
ever, 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 ever will shit on the military in my experience because that helped me become the man who I am today. You know, And if it wasn't for those experiences and that traveling and seeing the world, then I would not value just waking up in the morning and my eyes opening, being able to say thank you as much as I do.
You ain't lying.
As difficult as America can be for us, for this complexion. Okay. I know one thing, that
Foundational or not.
that everybody who is deployed wants one thing, shares the same common goal, and that's to come back here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everybody, so no matter how difficult it is, no matter how much BLM, no matter how much our youth keep getting murdered in the streets, even though some of them kids be in the wrong place doing some bad things.
Yeah.
Okay. But regardless, family, like, everybody want to come back home, and I don't hear people talking about, I'm leaving, going over this place, I'm going over, and I don't think they should. But I think that we should be better with each other here, because we ain't trying to leave. So if we're not trying to leave and go somewhere else and think that it's going to be a whole different mindset, and you won't be a foreigner over there, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be a foreigner. All these black folks talking about go back to Africa. The only thing about going back to Africa, the only thing about going back to Africa is that the only positive thing that I see about going back to Africa is economic opportunity. And but what will happen is you will still be segregated, because you will get over there and you don't want to live off the land. You want the same accommodations and everything that you have in New York, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, wherever, you know what I'm saying? California, LA. You want them same type of accommodations, and people there don't have it like that.
Correct.
So you're gonna be in African America town. It sounds good because there's no African America town in America.
Anywhere. Yeah, that is true.
We don't strive to do that.
That is true.
So that sounds good, but we got Chinatown, we got Little Russia, we got
Italy,
Little Italy, we got all these, but no African American town. Like
Little Havana, Little Haiti,
Little Haiti. And shout out to all of them too. Shout out, Sabase, Gebola. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, we not putting that together. We not putting that together. So, we could do better if we tried. But it's gonna take more than just one or two of us. It's gonna take a few of us. So tonight, y'all, we've been discussing the phrase keeping your word, commonly referred to as a promise. And our first question this evening was, what do you think of when you hear the phrase keeping your word? Let us know in the comment section below. Our second question this evening was, what has caused American culture to undervalue keeping your word? Let us know if you know something that you think may be relevant to why it's so difficult for people keeping their word. Let us know if you think keeping your word don't matter. You can just tell people any old thing and it doesn't even matter. We want to hear that too. Third, how does keeping your word or not keeping your word affect personal and professional relationships? We would like to hear your thoughts on that as well. We exchanged some very interesting insights and knowledge. And now we have come to that part of the show where we ask the question, is keeping your word bad, good, or misunderstood? The God Ali Dawood El, that BK Soul Farm.
Peace, good phrase. Keeping your word. It just came to me just now, right? That Belle Biv DeVoe song. When will I see your smile again? because when you sing that song, you actually repeat promises. I know I've made them many times before, and I broke each one of them. Like you keep singing this song, you keep repeating the words, and you actually tell yourself it's okay. You just all you gotta do is sing the song, and just cry real hard when you singing it. She gonna forgive you, right? And just have some flowers and shit like that. Like the media and all this stuff showed us so many ways of breaking our promise and why it's okay when it was never okay. Um, so keeping your word is definitely good. I don't know that it's misunderstood because I think it's clear,
Think it's
right?
clear.
I think it's clear. I think it was clear in the dictionary and all of them. I think it's clear when people say it. I think what's not clear is their intentions, right? I think they know exactly if they do intend on going to the party or not. I think they know that when they answered. I think they were just being polite or looking for a polite way of saying, I don't want to hang out with y'all today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it's clear. I don't think it's misunderstood at all. I think is vital, is very important. I think people know that they are breaking trust and they just hope that the other party gives them another chance.
Mm. They looking for second chances. Okay.
Not just second. I don't want to be. I don't want to limit it to second.
Oh yeah, because they might do it again. They might not let you down. They might have a they've showed you they're not gonna keep their word. So now that you've accepted that as behavior, now that's gonna be a continuance that you have to. So now you just tolerate it. So now you have to build the tolerance for
Right. Like it's
it.
so
Okay.
much. Right. So I think it's clear. So I think keeping your word is important, and we need it for trust. We need it for stability. We need it for organization. We need it for the unity in community.
Hmm.
Right. Like it is needed.
No doubt, God. Um, I'm going to say that keeping your word is misunderstood.
Yeah.
And and I'm gonna explain why I say keeping
Mm,
your word is misunderstood. We have nothing on this earth that is ours.
that's true.
We can't take this body with us when we go. We can't take no money with us when we go. You're a homeowner, but if you don't pay taxes, all right, it goes. All right. You have a vehicle. If you don't pay the taxes on that, that can be taken. You can pay it off. All right. If you don't have insurance, it can be impounded if you're driving. Your homeowner's insurance, you can probably live without homeowner's insurance, but you need to have some finances. All right. Um, but for the most part, nothing is of more value than our word. Because that's the only thing that we have here in the present that can actually be of value, that can actually be something that people can trust and respect. Nothing else. Nothing else but your word. If I'm in a personal relationship, I tell my wife, I tell my mother, I tell my brother, they trust in my word. I'm going to do something. I got you. Let me know so I could do this. That's all they have. My actions have to match it. That's one of the most valuable things that we have, but people don't honor it. They don't treasure it. They don't value it. That's all we have is your word. Nothing else. Because all of this other stuff is temporary. But right now in the present, you got your word. And you can make that mean something. I don't care if you poor. I don't care how much money you got. You can be poor and be honest.
That's a fact.
You can be poor and keep your word. You can be rich and be a piece of shit and be a liar, always trying to manipulate shit, because
that's how you got your wealth.
So that's why I think it's misunderstood, because people don't realize that is the only thing that we have that is really of value. That when you die, somebody could say, yeah, you know, my man always kept it a thou wow. My man ain't never lied to me. Bro ain't never lie. You know what I'm saying? Bro was cool with it, man. Bro always told the truth. Bro always kept it 100. He kept it real. He ain't lie. If he said he was gonna do something, he did it. He ain't never let me down. I would think that would be more valuable to friends, family, people that you come across, you know, co-workers, associates. I would think that would be more valuable than, oh, he had a Mercedes. Oh, he had a big house. Oh, he had none of that shit he took with him. Oh, he had this. Oh, he had a lot of money. So that's where I leave it at, God. That's where I think that keeping your word, keeping promises. And I just want to throw back up what Bobby T did. Shout out to Bob for coming through. My man Rob Taylor, man. You know, he always keep it on the one. You know, he said to keep your word means to follow through on a promise, commitment, or statement you made.
Word.
It reflects integrity, honesty, and reliability, showing others you can be trusted in what you say, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. And that is of value. You know. So I hope somebody found some value in our conversation this evening. Anyone watching, everybody out there, whoever views this. And that's it. That's all we got for tonight. Like we always say, we not the gurus. We are learning this stuff as we go, you know. And if you like something, you know, pick it up, have a smoke. If you don't, leave something in the ashtray. We have been smoking on keeping your word, the phrase keeping your word, this evening. And everybody have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week. And make sure to like and share the video. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. And we will see you all next time right here, Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time at Cigar Sundays. Peace, God.
Peace, God. This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on a list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel. Smoking on words like two big nerds. Hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live.
DBCHEFTV.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.